Hi Xbox Player South Africa, this is Flace. So Apex Interactive gave us this Victrix Gambit dual core controller. It's made by PDP to review, and then afterwards we are going to give this specific unit away to one lucky winner in the group. Before I go ahead and open the box to show you guys what this controller looks like, just a few things about it. The dual core in the controller, this is a tournament controller, they say, and they rate this as the fastest Xbox controller out there. The dual core comes in where it has one core specifically for controller input, etc., and then another core for the audio, to handle audio. Some other highlights: 2 or 4 paddles at the bottom and interchangeable thumbsticks as well, and it also has interchangeable covers. So let's go ahead and open her up. Alright, so with this you do get a very nice carry case. It does remind me a bit of the Xbox Elite cases with some purple accents. The controller comes with 2 interchangeable covers. This one I found fairly plasticky, I must be honest. Although after playing with it for a while, I did get used to it and it ended up being my preference. This one is a bit more rubbery, and I think there would be people that prefer this, but both ended up being quite nice. It then comes with a longer, I think they call it the sniper stick, that you can interchange with the others. Then there's a concave stick, if you prefer that. Interchangeable D-pad. I know that guys playing fighting games usually prefer this kind of D-pad. Then there's some additional rings. You can see these ones, it's got corners, where the ones that's currently on the controller is round. Again, I would assume this is for maybe fighting games where you want to be sure you're in the top or in one of the corners without sliding around. I'm not sure, I don't know really what that is for. And then another great thing is you get these interchangeable paddles for the bottom. You can either go for a 4-button or 2-button at the bottom configuration. I'll show you guys that now. Then there's a 10 feet braided cord, also purple. There's no breakaway, but if you play corded, usually you would be at a desk. I would just, for tripping hazard, if you play in front of a TV, just make sure you go and put the controller where people can't trip over the cord. This is a wired only controller. There's no wireless capabilities. I personally use a Wolverine Ultimate Razor, and that's also a wired controller. At first I thought I wouldn't want to play wired, but once you get used to it, it's actually fantastic. I actually wouldn't have it any other way currently. Very nice cord, as I said, 10 feet, that's around 3 and a bit meters, which is plenty of length. Also in the box is the user manual in any language imaginable, and then your Dolby Atmos. I assume this is like the license card. From what I read is that once you plug in a headset into this controller, it activates the Atmos license. I didn't do this because, well, first of all, I use a wireless headset, and I also didn't want it to activate this license on my account, and the person who ends up winning this can't use it. So I can't really tell you what the experience is there, but it does have Dolby Atmos, the controller itself. Okay, let me show you guys some of the features that we did speak about. So as I said, these covers are interchangeable and it's magnetic, so they just clip off, and then you can snap on the purple one and it comes off fairly easily. You want to have a quick look. This is what the controller looks like without the cover on it. You can see some of the electronics and motors and stuff in there, quite cool. The D-pad, as far as I could see, you need to clip on if you want to change it. I'm going to snap that on. You change it while this is on because that won't fit over it. It's got like a little marker here, and that's as easy as that. I want to show you and then the thumbsticks. If you've ever opened up an Xbox controller, pretty much looks the same. You can swap them around, put on the longer ones, put on the concave ones if you prefer that. It only comes with the 2 extras, but they snap on fairly easily. I'm going to go with the white one for this because I think you guys will be able to see this better. I must say I do like the feel of the analog sticks. They're quite tight, which I do like. I've played quite a few hours with this. Buttons also very similar to an normal Xbox controller. I didn't have any issues with it. The only thing that you might need to get used to is that these buttons sit on top here and not where they usually sit on the controller. It probably bothered me for like 30 minutes and then I got used to it. When I switched back to my Wolverine, I was missing the buttons going too much to the top. So it shouldn't really be an issue. It's got the share button, which is nice. Then we also have this function button, which have to do with audio control. So you can use that to up and down volume. And for a chat mixer, that's again only if you have a wired headset plugged in. But there is a nice one if you have a cheaper headset that doesn't have volume or chat balance control. This controller adds that for you. I'm going to come back to this button as it also controls the back paddles. So you'll see on the back, currently it's on a 2-paddle configuration. It does sit very nicely on the finger, so it's there. If you haven't played with a controller with paddles before, it does take a bit of getting used to because you can accidentally press this. It's not the controller's fault, it's literally something you need to get used to if you haven't had a controller that has paddles on the grips here. You can then switch this to the 4-paddle configuration by simply changing this plate. It just snaps in. And now you have 4 paddles. You can map any button on the front or the triggers or the bumpers to these paddle buttons at the bottom here. On Rocket League, for instance, I use the paddles for my boost button, so I don't have to take a finger off the other buttons while boosting. In games like Call of Duty, you can put reload there, slide, whatever. It's literally up to you. The options are endless. For me, personally, 2 buttons at the bottom is enough, but there are some people that prefer to have 4, and this controller gives you both options, which is awesome. This takes me back to this function button. There's 2 options to configure these bottom paddles, buttons, whatever you want to call it. The simplest way is to just hold in this function button, press the paddle that you want to configure, and then press the button you want to configure that to. And Bob's your uncle. So what I did was I put the B button on the paddle at the bottom, and that's now what happens. As if I press the button at the bottom, it's basically the same as pressing B. So you can do that quickly, you can do it on the fly. The other option is to download the Victrix app on Xbox. This does give you a bit more flexibility, and I would say, depending on what you like, an easier way to configure these buttons. I'm actually just going to jump into this and quickly show you what the app looks like. So this is the app you need for this controller, not the normal PDP app. This controller is made by PDP, but it's one of their tournament controllers. So the Victrix controller hub is what you're after. I'm quickly going to install it. Okay, now that we have the app installed, once you open it up, again the purple theme, you will see that there's quite a few things that you can do here. The first time I did this, there was an update for the controller, so you can just check for updates every now and then. Let's go into configuration. So over here you can remap buttons. So you can remap, for instance, the A button to another button. Then the back paddles, you basically say if you have 2 paddles or 4 paddles installed. I have 4 paddles installed, and then you can see what it is configured as. You can then go and say I want this to go to B as well. Simple as that. Then I'm going to jump to analog sticks. If you look at the analog sticks, you can test them, you can calibrate. There's some other settings you can do. You can swap, invert, etc. Let's go to the triggers. Over here you can again swap the triggers, set dead zones for your triggers. Quite customizable. I'm going to jump to the audio tab. Over here you can set volume, chat balance, etc. And you can see if I do it on the controller here, I'm moving the chat balance by using that function key and the volume by using up and down. So it works live in the app as well, and you can slide it around as you wish. There's also different audio modes which you can set here, equalizer profiles, and then lastly over here you can set your vibration settings, and you can actually feel a change as you set it. And that's the app. Fairly user friendly, quite a lot of customization that you can do. Let's go to the triggers. The triggers on this is really a standout for me. It's got quite nice feel to it. And what you can do with these is you can set the triggers to be very short. For first person shooters, there's almost no give. It's almost like a button. Very quick. Then you can set these, I think it's 5 different settings of depth. So you can put them all the way down like this. Or if you want to, like I'm going to do the left hand one, you can take it like halfway, leave the purple, and it only goes in almost halfway. Where this one, I'm going to set to go in all the way. You'll see there's a slight difference. So you can set different depths for your triggers. For most people, I would think it's either going to be there or there, depending on the game you play. But like you saw, it's really quick. If you want it to be very short stops, just flick those and it's short. If you want it long, all the way down, and it's got more travel, like for driving games and stuff like that. The one thing I did like about the cord is that it's a normal USB-C cable. So I actually used this controller without using the original cable because I didn't want to get it dirty or put any wear on it because we're giving it away. So I just used a normal phone USB-C cable with an extension, and it worked perfectly. So if there's any concern about replacement cables 2-3 years down the line and you're worried that you won't get one, any USB-C cable does the job. And it simply plugs in. So what was it like playing with this? I've been playing quite a lot of Modern Warfare 2 with this since Modern Warfare 2 launched, and I must say the short trigger stops is amazing. In my opinion, it does make a huge difference, and I think people that have trigger stops will tell you exactly the same thing. The analog stick's quite tight, but I got used to it very quickly. I do enjoy using this, and I've got the Razor Wolverine, and going back to that is going to be tough. I also enjoyed the paddles at the bottom quite a lot, specifically for reloading. For guys with wide headsets, the audio controls, also if you don't have that, will be a life changer. My only concern with this controller, well, it's not really a concern, it was just a first impression, is that this specific cover does feel a bit plasticky. You can go to this one if that's an issue for you, but I ended up playing with this, and it's a personal preference, right? So this does feel a bit plasticky. In the beginning also the triggers did feel a bit plasticky, but it is definitely a quality controller. You can feel the give that the triggers do, the clicks of the bumpers, and the analog sticks are simply amazing. I did ask the guys of what this would retail for, and they gave me an estimated price of 2,499 Rand. Is it worth it? I would say yes. If you're in the market for a wired controller, you should look at this as an option. I'm actually a bit sad to have to part with this, but at least we're going to make someone's day. Exclusively to the Xbox Players SA group, we're going to give this away to a member of the group, and I'm very sure that person's going to be very happy with this. Thank you for watching this, guys. We really appreciate you. And thank you again to Apex Interactive for providing this for the review, and also to be able to give this away to one of the members of the Xbox Players South Africa group. Thank you.